Afra from the BloggersIdeas, and today I'm going to do a detailed review of the Music for Film Masterclass course by Danny Elfman. But first, let me do a quick introduction to this Masterclass platform. Masterclass is a course website where you get to learn about varied subjects. What sets it apart from other educational websites out there is that Masterclass is a curated course platform that is taught by leading experts of the given industry, which is really unique in my opinion. It has two pricing structures. If you're looking into taking only one particular course, then you can pay $90 and get a lifetime access of that course. Or you can opt for an all-access pass where you can pay $180 annually and access as many courses as you wish. I would really advise you to go for the second option, as the content in this platform is simply exceptional and it's really hard to choose any particular course. You would like to explore and know more about the courses and the knowledge that is shared by their instructors. But if you're sure and are only looking for one particular course, then go for the $90 option and get a lifelong access for that specific one. Just to show you a quick overview of the Masterclass homepage, here is the profile. Community where you can start a discussion on any course or topic or network with fellow students who have signed up for these courses. You can also gift an all-access pass to your friend or family member who can benefit from Masterclass. It'll be like giving a gift of education and experience to your loved one. You can access courses which deal in various topics and choose which one you would like to learn or which instructor you would like to listen to. So that was all about the Masterclass homepage. Now, coming back to our Masterclass course about music and film by Danny Elfman and whether it is worth it for you or not. Let's start. Danny Elfman is an Oscar-nominated composer who has composed background music for a ton of brilliant movies. He has been composing for a long time, starting from his days as a songwriter for his band to composing for big films like Batman, Alice in Wonderland, and many more. The winner of 2 Emmy Awards, a Grammy, and numerous other exciting nominations. Danny has seen it all. He's probably the most experienced person when it comes to composing for movies or even television. This unique masterclass provides you all the information related to music composition. This masterclass is a one-stop solution to all your composing doubts and queries. With well-defined sessions and highly informative video sessions, you are bound to boost your confidence when it comes to exploring new horizons as a music composer. You will learn everything, ranging from the basics of film composition to behind the scenes in the life of a composer. So, buckle up. This masterclass is divided into 7 sections with numerous sessions. The first section is titled The Journey of a Composer. In the first session of the masterclass, Danny explains to us how he was never musically gifted, but he still found his way into this industry. He describes how nobody needs to be musically inclined in his initial years of their life. It is good if you are, but it is not a necessity. Danny grew up in a house that was right across a movie theater. He used to consider the theater his church, and that is how he got to worshipping movies and the process of composing. In the next session, Danny tells us that in order to become a successful composer, you must first need to be a student of music and movies. You must carefully dissect the art of music for films and study all that goes into making scenes for movies. Having influences in the movie industry worked wonders for him, as he was constantly getting inspired and motivated to try out different things that helped him broaden his musical perspective. The second session follows Danny as he explains the fundamentals of film composing. He starts off by explaining the process of writing feature scores. Danny says it is important to relate the whole vibe of the scene that you are composing for. He takes some of his works from the past to break the process down for us. A case study of the music theme for Batman has been included in this session. Further down the session, Danny introduces us to techniques like capturing and finding the tone, as well as identifying the key moments in scenes. He describes the crucial difference in between composing for a movie versus composing for animation in this session. In this next session, Danny emphasizes on the importance of themes. Recognition of a theme might be an easy task or a difficult one. It all depends on your attention to detail. Once you are able to relate a certain feeling for the scene, it becomes easy to associate a tune to it. He takes an example of the composing of the famous animated show Simpsons to prove his point. He tells us that repetition of the tune when the character visits a familiar place more than once, giving a theme tune to the villain of the movie, are all parts of the overall theme associated with the movie. On to the third session, Danny introduces us to various instruments he uses on a daily basis to produce tunes and tones for his compositions. He says that there is no right or wrong way that an instrument produces a tone. It's all up to what you require out of it. For smooth and slow progression, Danny tends to use chimes and piano, whereas for fight sequences and action scenes, drums, electric guitars, and violins are used by him. In an interesting part of the session, he tells us his experiences of recording in a live studio as well as in digital software. The fourth session begins with Danny telling us how important it is to pay attention to detail. Danny himself is a sucker for small details. He sharply looks for anything that might be a turning point in the process of composing. Danny breaks down a scene from the movie Lawrence of Arabia. He describes how the director deliberately cut out some portions of the score to make the scene look and feel more realistic to the audience. The following section is dedicated to Danny Elfman's composing process. Danny provides us with a step process about how he sits with the director and watches the movie to identify possible scores for different scenes. Danny is making the starting and stopping point for the movie in his head as he watches the movie. He explains how a composer has to cater to the needs of both big budgets and small budgets that are thrown at him. So, it is your job as a composer to decide how many musicians and sessions it is going to take for you to produce the perfect score in the given duration. Your workflow defines the kind of composer you will become. He describes how he has a huge board where he writes down all his progress. To be a successful composer, you need to be organized in your workflow, no matter how unorganized you are in your thoughts. Danny loves the digital software he has, but encourages us to choose on our own. He doesn't like to be around many people while working, so his team includes his band members and sometimes a couple of friends with similar tastes in music. Identifying tones is okay, but in order to compile them together under the same palette, you need to create a template. Danny teaches you how he creates his templates for the movies. He explains how he got inspiration from his best friend who is an artist. Before a show, his friend would align all the blank canvases and the paints according to his needs. This technique has helped Danny to create a beginning template for most of his scores. After creating a template and arranging the tools, he no longer has to worry or fuss over finding the thing that he requires. In the last session, you will learn how to find your editor's rhythm. It is important to understand the rhythm of the editor because it eases the process for composing for a film that is constantly being edited. Sometimes tunes will work for the whole scene, but after the editor cuts the scene, you might not like the tune or the progression related to it. He also explains how maths and music are not always connected. If you have a strong intuition, you will know when to play a beat and when not to. Moving on towards the next session. This section is all about working with different kinds of directors. Danny believes that directors have a certain feeling attached to every scene. Although they might not be musically inclined, it's your job as a composer to convert their feelings into sounds. You need to be prepared for all the twists and turns a director's mind can lead you into. Danny didn't have any classical training when he started composing. He believes that musical schooling is not a necessity for you to become a successful composer, if you can be dedicated to learning a skill set by continuous practice. A good composer should be ready to grasp things quickly. With the age of the internet and lots of tutorials available online, Danny thinks it's your time to shine. In this last session for this section, Danny talks about how there is a very thin line between paying homage to another composer by using bits of his ideas and plagiarism. Danny himself has had more than a dozen lawsuits filed regarding themes from Edward Scissorhands. He says that it's all about the context. Danny believes such kind of knowledge comes from making stuff happen. You will not know how close you are to copying someone else's tune unless you keep hearing and watching other composers work. Everyone has their own insecurities. To become a successful composer, you need to look past those. Practice makes perfect. Danny hopes that you work hard and you commit bold mistakes. He also hopes that you learn from these mistakes. Danny reveals his own insecurities and explains how over time he has developed an instinct to make better choices. In the last session of this section, Danny talks about failure. Danny says failures are building blocks to success. He himself fell apart with longtime friend and colleague Tim Burton due to certain differences in opinion. He speaks on how young composers should keep their ego aside and look to work collaboratively and see the bigger picture in everything they do. In this next fun-filled section, we have case studies. Danny sits down and breaks down the scores related to each one of the movies. He first takes the scenes from The Night Before Christmas. Here, he describes how to write the score around a specific character. The second case study involves a score from a simple plan. He explains how he combined the sounds of an old banjo to that of a piano and created a melody. His first melody wasn't as good, but as time progressed, he improved the sync and got a good result. The next case study is Milk. The score used in Milk is not an ordinary one. Danny explains that his normal thinking wasn't working on the scene. He advises composers to always have another out-of-the-box approach ready when it comes to difficult and mind-boggling scenes. Final session of this section includes Danny breaking down his score from the movie The Unknown Known. The score revolves around the villain, but as most evil scores go, this was a tough one. Danny had to go into deep thoughts to provide the character with a recognizable score for the movie. Alas, this masterclass ends with some final words of wisdom from the maestro. He hopes that he has done you some good by imparting his knowledge. He says that it is important that you put a good number of hours into mastering your craft and create a balance between the art and the craft. With a few other motivational thoughts, Danny Elfman takes your lead. Beginner composers, music producers, and instrumentalists would love to watch this masterclass. If you are a hardcore movie freak and want to soak in the process of what goes behind the scenes, this masterclass is one to look out for. The pros of this course. Some pros of this course are every aspect of music composition for movies is covered. Numerous case studies are provided. I feel so motivated after watching this masterclass. I never knew the amount of work that music composers do behind the scenes to make the actors in the scene look so good. This masterclass has made me cherish all the finer moments in life. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We would love to hear your thoughts for the same in the comment section below. Also, I highly recommend Music for Film Masterclass course by Danny Elfman, and if you wish to pursue this, you can find all the details to this masterclass in the description box below. Also, if you really like this review, then please like and share this video. And for more such reviews, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Oh, and one last thing. Before leaving, do click on the bell icon. Bye!